Good day, everyone. This is Polyphenols, and welcome to DDO Players News, where we take a look at latest news to DDO and on the tabletop. And please welcome my co-host from Ravenloft, Draculata.
Hey now, everybody. How's it going?
Hello there, Drac. Is the mist finally lifting?
No, it is not. I still have the Ravenloft plague. Yay! Yay for the plague.
Well then,
I did realize something though.
What?
Before we get into game news, we are recording episode 309. This is our 309th episode of the show. Do you know what that means?
It's more than 300. Other than that, what?
We are 441 episodes away from our 750th episode.
And why is that important?
You'll find out when we hit 751.
Right. Let's head into our game news, where we had an update. Update 53.0.2 sounds like a small patch to me, but is it really small?
It was super small, and Pyleap is so confused about the 750 thing. It'll all make sense later. Update 53.0.2, as you said, was released this Wednesday, yesterday, as a matter of fact, as we record the show on March the 2nd. Not a lot in this. They did fix the plate mail of Strahd. It now has its proper color. Thank God Strahd was bitching to me about that constantly. So thank you for fixing his plate mail.
Okay.
He was not happy. He was not happy, and when Strahd's not happy, it's just a whole thing in the Barovia. So thanks for fixing that. Also, they fixed an issue that was causing Quest not to bestow when exiting into the landscape from the Hunt or Be Hunted, which is the new area and the new quest. So that is now fixed. They also fixed an issue with random encounters spawning in some wilderness areas. Always good if you're trying to finish out the random encounters. Against the Demon Queen, Queen Laliet now properly drops her chest when defeated. Always good when a boss drops the chest. Anniversary events, which we're going to talk about here in a little bit, got a little work as well. The water weirds and giant crocodiles in the anniversary party now scale properly with the level of the dungeon. And anniversary team outfits now showed the correct colors on Warforged and Blade Forge characters.
Now, hold on. I just hope that these giant crocodiles aren't as bad as a certain thousand-tooth crocodile.
God can only hope not. They are not. That quest sucks. Anyway, they're also continuing working on general improvements let's try that again, shall we? Strike that reverse. We're continuing to work on general improvements to server performance. Specifically, in this release, improvements have been made to the technical dungeon message processing optimization, that sounds fancy, that we identified as having a weighty impact on game performance. Players may also see specific improvements in outdoor areas in performance. So yay for fixes. They are continuing, as we talked about last week in the producer's letter, they're continuing to look at that, continuing to fix any little thing they can or get more performance where they can. So good to see that is continuing. And that is our patch. I told you it was wee tiny.
Then let's head into our other news, where apparently we have a 16-year anniversary here in Dungeons & Dragons Online, so at least I know the significance of 16.
Exactly. Well, I'm telling you, 750 will make sense later. Continuing...
In 10 years or something?
Well, however long it takes us to get there, yeah, it'll make sense. Trust me. I will bring it back up. It's something for everybody to look forward to. It'll make sense, Pineleaf. I promise. And it's going to be great, and you're going to be like, really? It's going to be great.
I waited 10 years for this.
It's going to be great. It's the slow build that I'm building up to this, but it's going to be great. You'll see. Yes, we are celebrating 16 years of Dungeons & Dragons Online. Can you believe our little DDO? I can talk tonight. I really can. And I can't even blame it on the alcohol because I'm just drinking water, which is probably the problem. I probably should switch to alcohol, and then I could talk correctly. See, that water's bad for you. Confirmed. Hashtag truth. Yes, 16 years of DDO. Can you believe that? How long have you been playing DDO?
It's a question because the first time I started playing it would have been back maybe during the first year or something like that. But the client back in those days didn't get along with my system, so I stopped playing it. And I didn't start playing it again until after they started free. Actually, it might have been even after Loto started free to play or something like that.
Yeah,
Somewhere around that time.
that's about the same story with me. I started probably maybe 2 or 3 years after it was out. I didn't start right at the beginning, but I played probably for about 2 years. Had a group of friends that we played all the time, and then they kind of quit, and then the game went free to play, and then we kind of played a little bit after that, and then picked it up later then. I mean, however long we've been doing the show, that's how long I've been back into it. So just interesting. We've been around 16 years. And to celebrate that, a lot of stuff happening. Of course, we did talk about it last week, but permanently free now. The half-elf, half-orc, drow, wood-elf, dragonborn, tiefling, and the gnome.
Gnomes are coming. They're coming for you.
The druid, monk, and warlock also permanently free. So that means everybody, even if you're a free-to-play player, can get all of those races and all of those classes and play. And then don't forget, if you did purchase any of those races and classes, you will be getting a gift of a greater elixir of discovery for each one of those races or classes that you did own prior to the release of the last update that brought out the anniversary dungeon. To get that, just speak with Jubilee, the Discoverer, on the bottom floor of the Eberron Hall of Heroes, and you'll get one bound to account Greater Elixir of Discovery for each of the feature you have previously purchased. Also, we talked about it last week as well, because this was all in the producer's letter, but VIPs, you're getting free gold rolls in 2022. So they just want to thank you for being VIPs, so they're increasing the free gold rolls on the daily dice from once per week to once per day. You will receive a free gold roll in addition to your free daily silver roll through 11:59 Eastern on December 31st, 2022. So you got plenty of time to get all the good stuff from the gold rolls, unless you're me. And then you won't. But, we all know. Stupid RNG and all that.
Oh, well. If you make 200 attempts, you're bound to get one or two.
I'm going to start, I'm going to write that. I have determined I am going to start writing down everything I get. I can't guarantee I'm going to do it every day. But when I do roll my golds on as many servers as I roll them on, I'm going to write it down. And at the end of the year, we're going to see exactly what I got. And then y'all are going to see, because people always tweet at me, or they send me an email, or if they see me in game, they're like, the RNG can't be that bad to you. Yes, it is. Anybody that's ever played with me in any game knows it is that bad. This is not hyperbole we are spewing here. True facts. The RNG hates me.
I just remember when playing D&D with someone who couldn't roll a high number to save his life. To one session, about half a year into the campaign, he suddenly started rolling 20s and 19s like crazy.
Oh, nice.
He was wondering what was going on.
Something's wrong here.
As if the world is trying to rebalance itself.
So you're telling me one day the RNG is going to be kind to me in large swaths of time to make up for all the time it's been crappy to me?
Well, I can't guarantee that.
Okay. We'll see. There's also new party outfits for everyone, because you got to have a party outfit for a party, right? Every day you can pick up one of the 6 anniversary team outfits. You can get those in red, blue, yellow, green, pink, or silver. Just speak to the Djinn outside of the anniversary dungeon in House P to get your cloak. The outfits and the NPC are going to be available through December 31st, 2022. So plenty of time to pick up all of the cloaks if you would like. And the anniversary event is back. Of course, that is the dungeon where you go in, fight some of the devs, see all of the in-jokes, and all of the fun. Of course, with that, we have new rewards for the anniversary. A barter. We have the Sentient Jewel of the Dragon, which I know what I'm going to be getting. I'm going to have to get that. The 15th Anniversary Commemorative Cloak, the Robe of Celebration, Medium Armor of Celebration, Heavy Armor of Celebration, Medium Docent of Celebration, and, you guessed it, a Heavy Docent of Celebration.
Okay.
You have until March 20th for all of the anniversary events, so that means I have 17 more days to grind out to get my Jewel of the Dragon. I can do it. Yes, I can.
Yes, I know. I'll forget all about it till March 21st. Everything go.
Oh, yeah, I should run the... Oh, wait. Never mind. Wah, wah.
All right. And that's it. So
that is it.
Then let's head over into the DDO Chronicle. And is there anything in there that's not about the anniversary?
There is, actually, surprisingly.
Ooh.
Lots of stuff, actually. Strim Tom had a chat with the new producer, Tolero. You can see that over on his YouTube channel. The second edition of Teacher Sin's monk-focused, really, I can talk, I promise, the Book of Synlectica is now done. So click over and check out the updated guide to monks over on his blog. Axel is getting the guitar out for Ravenloft. See his latest game music video that he transcribed himself on to guitar. Was doing some songs from Ravenloft, so go check that out. It was pretty amazing. All of his videos where he transcribes the game music and he does it on guitar is good, but this one was extremely good. And I'm not biased just because it's... Okay, well, yeah, maybe I am. Yeah. Let's be honest, maybe I am. And if you have a player you would like to nominate for the Player Spotlight, you can do that. Send an email to contact@Standing Games with the subject Player Spotlight and probably why you think that player should be spotlighted. Along with that, if you are a new player, maybe you're a player that's been playing for a while, you're looking for a guild, there is postings over regularly in the recruitment section of the guild forums, so go check that out. Click over there and you can see that. We got fan site news, of course. DDO Cast gets into the producer's letter. Watch or listen to hear DDO Cast take on our latest producer's letter. Looks like we had Dinosaurs in the Plague last week. Pretty much. DDO Stream, your first stop for DDO over on Twitch. Brighter days ahead. Shoots at monsters. Zyre Marsh hangs with some chat. And Anything Goes over on Doug Glendower's stream. Also elsewhere on Twitch, Overboard Gaming goes loafing around. I like that. Voodoo Spice is running the new raid. See Me See You Gregorian levels up. Paints and thinks about some items. The Damsel's Game over on YouTube is getting into a tavern brawl. Axel speculates about what adventure pack will be made legendary. And Caniculus Monulorius, sure, why not, runs through the producer's letter. So check all of that out over on Twitch and YouTube. Chronicle comment this week. Everybody knows about the owlbear, but very few know of the unusual combination of the
rhino tick?
That sounds terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. And I'm not going to lie, not where I thought you were going to go with a question like this.
Where were you thinking I was going to go?
I don't know, somewhere pine leaf happy and with rainbows and happy things, not rhino ticks. But sure, okay.
Well,
the only correct answer to this is the abomination known as the reverse centaur. If you know,
reverse
you know.
Centaur. Oh, good grief.
If you know, you know. An abomination.
It sounds like an abomination to me.
Oh, we shall never speak of it again.
Okay.
We do have our screenshot of the week, though.
Whoa. It could be worse. We could have the bear owl. Could you just imagine?
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, that would be kind of freaky. Little flying bear going around?
I might have to make... Ooh. I got to write that down. That gives me an idea.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, okay. I'm writing bear owl down. was a good one. Let's look at our screenshot of the week to round out our chronicle. Vintivakova, why not? And his Phantom Steed recharges under the power of the full moon. That is the 542nd DDO screenshot of the week. Vintivakova. Kovia. I pronounce names wrong, so that's what I do. As always, you're welcome, but cool screenshot, sir. I assume you're a sir, or madam, whichever the case may be.
All right, then. Let's then see what's coming in from the dungeon. Where there's apparently a doctor coming to D&D 5th edition, and why are his opponents saying something about extermination?
Exactly. It's not just a doctor that's coming to 5e Pine Leap. It's a Dalek as well. That's right. Doctors and Daleks are coming to D&D 5e. This is coming from, of course, Cubicle 7. They have announced they are working on a project entitled Doctors and Daleks. It's a new line of products that will bring, of course, Doctor Who's adventures to your tabletop using the 5th edition rule set. The very first release in the planned product line will be the Doctors and Daleks Player's Guide, and it's going to be launching soon. Don't know how soon, because they didn't say. The only thing we know about it is the little blurb they gave us to talk about. The wild adventures of everyone's favorite Time Lord comes to the world's most popular role-playing game in Doctors and Daleks. Take your gaming group into the TARDIS and travel anywhere, anywhen. You want to meet Leonardo da Vinci? Sure. Or maybe see what life was like in the year 3000? Sure. What about another planet entirely? All of space and time is at your disposal. But keep your wits about you. There's a lot of danger.
I'm trying to remember, when was the last time there was a Doctor Who RPG released?
Maybe 4 or 5 years ago.
Okay.
Something like that. It was from Cubicle 7 as well, of course, because they're the ones that holds the Doctor Who rights. Yeah, I'm thinking the last edition was maybe 4 or 5 years ago, something like that.
All right.
So interesting to see how they do this. They're going to release more information soon. It's just, this is interesting. I'm curious to see how this is going to work. It could be super fun if they do it right, which Cubicle 7 usually does good things with stuff like this. So I think it's in good hands, but I never thought of doing this. I mean, I'm playing D&D, I never thought, this would be so much cooler if this would be Doctor Who. But it sounds awesome.
All right, then let us then see what's coming in from D&D Icons of the Realms, where it looks like we have a pretty big dragon here.
Yes, it's another mega dragon with a mega price to match.
Of course.
From WizKids.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Yeah. This is Balagos, the Ancient Red Dragon. It is a massive miniature. And then again, when is a miniature not really a miniature? Yeah, we'll see. This stands over 18 inches tall. To the top of its wings with a near 24-inch wingspan. So this thing is huge. The wings and the tails will detach. So I don't know why you would want to attach them, but sure, you can do that if you want. The MSRP on this, $399.
Yikes!
Yeah. A bit much, but huge. But it looks good. Like all of these statues that WizKids does looks good, but that's a lot of money to use for a statue or a miniature that you might use once in a game to kill off all your players, and then you probably never use it again. I mean, it's cool, but is it $400 cool? Debatable.
Then let's head into what's coming in for a new starter set. Don't they already have a starter set for Dungeons & Dragons?
There are several starter sets for Dungeons & Dragons, but apparently we need a new one? Question mark. And this was just weird because this isn't technically officially, and I'm using air quotes that nobody can see because this isn't a video podcast. Officially, this was never actually announced.
Okay.
It was announced kind of, sort of, in a weird way. Hasbro did a 2022 entertainment toys, games, and entertainment roundup video that was showcasing all the new products coming over 2022 for Hasbro and all of its various brands. We get a little shot of this yet unannounced Dungeons and Dragons starter set. You can clearly see the box. You can clearly see it if you're watching YouTube. I got a picture of it right now that I grabbed out of the video. It is called the Dragons of Storm Wreck Isle. This happens at about 23 seconds into the video. Not on the screen very long. They also talk about a new book that's coming out, which also is entitled Dragons of Stormwreck Isle. The new book, it has the price point that books always have, $49.99. Guess what the price point for this new starter set is?
For the new starter set?
Yep. Keep in mind, all of the other starter sets retailed at $19.99.
Well, it sounds like the $19.99.
You would think, right? No.
Right. What?
MSRP is $49.99 on the starter set.
What?
Yeah, $49.99. So if you want this new starter set, you're going to be paying as much as you are for a hardcover book. And if the other starter sets are any indication, you're going to get character sheets, you're going to get a set of dice, which are never that great, let's just be honest. You can look back. We've done reviews of the older starter sets, and the dice are not the best.
They can't be as bad as the dice that came with the 0 edition of D&D.
Well, but those are classic dice, though. But true, those were some pretty crappy dice. But I mean, it's the nostalgia part for those dice, right? And of course, you're going to get a soft cover book in the starter set.
Right.
$49.99. Why is the starter set, quote unquote, again, air quotes you can't see, worth $49.99? I reached out. Yeah, exactly. I reached out to Hasbro and I reached out to Wizards of the Coast. I got the standard no comment on unannounced products back from both. So at some point, this will officially be announced, which I think is a stupid, because you technically already announced it because you had it in your freaking video. So we know this is a thing.
I thought it was more of a teaser than an announcement, though.
It's like, we know it's a thing. Just announce it. What are you waiting for? Like, why are you, we don't talk about products we haven't announced. Well, okay.
They're probably monitoring the feedback on the comments about the price.
Yeah, the $49.99 price point, which is stupid. Maybe, probably. Yeah, I don't get it at all, but okay, whatever. But we'll see. I'm assuming we'll get this to review. We normally get all the D&D stuff, but I don't know. Because and what's weird is, like, this didn't come from WotC. This came from Hasbro. So another question is, Hasbro kind of going to market this under Avalon Hill? Which would be totally
Hill for D&D?
Right.
For D&D? That sounds rather weird.
Yeah, that would be totally weird. But like I said, Hasbro's the one that, quote unquote, didn't really announce this, but teased it or whatever you want to say in this video. So I don't know. This whole thing is weird. I'm hoping the $49.99 price point was just an error and it's not really that price point, because if it is, you got some splaining to do.
Yeah, it could be that since it wasn't really announced, it's very easy that an error could have slipped in there.
I hope.
All right. So we'll have to wait and see about that. Maybe we'll find out in 750 episodes or something. Let's go and see. Yeah, let's go and see what's on the on the tabletop. That is. And And we have here a board game version of a classic game, or actually, I should say several classic games, because when I think of Wolfenstein, I think of the very first Wolfenstein game, which is before the 3D versions all came out on there. But I think most people are more familiar, of course, with the Wolfenstein 3D and their successors on there. But apparently, there's going to be a board game version, I guess, based on the more recent stuff.
Yes. Oh my God, this is so exciting. I'm so excited for this. Yes, Wolfenstein, the board game. It's coming from Archon Studios. This, of course, is based upon the classic first-person shooter. It's going to release March 31st, 2022. Shockingly, I figured this was going to come to Kickstarter, but the way they make it sound like this is going straight to retail, which surprised me, because I'm like, oh yeah, minis game, this is going to be a Kickstarter. But it sounds like this is straight to retail. In this miniatures board game, players are going to be headed into the original Castle Wolfenstein to take out Adolf Hitler and his minions. The game is based, of course, on the classic video game developed by ID Software and published by Apogee. Of course, you are storming into Castle Wolfenstein, and you're going to have to sneak past if you want. I guess you don't really have to sneak if you don't want to. You can go in guns blazing, I'm sure. Nazi guards, and you must work as a team of skilled heroes to uncover all of Castle Wolfenstein's secrets. The base game comes with your rulebook, a missions book. You're going to get 6 different hero models, 45 enemy models, 4 boss models, of course, 8 map tiles, 8 corridor tiles, various cards, tokens, custom attack dice, dashboards for your players. They are saying this is age 14 and up, 60 to 90-ish minutes to play it. It's going to retail for $120, which isn't horrible considering how many minis are in this, and that's about standard miniature game price, so not a horrible retail price at $120 for this. I can't off the top of my head think of any other games that Archon Studios have done. They don't sound familiar to me. Let me take a quick look here to see. So if I can say, oh yeah, this is probably going to be good, or I'm like, oh god, no, it's these people.
That is.
They did the Heroes of Might and Magic board game.
All right.
They did that, which I has heard was decent.
Dungeons and Lasers.
Oh yeah, they're the Dungeons and Lasers people. Oh, and they were the people that did Masters of the Universe, Fields of Eternia. That was the European version of the 2 Masters of the Universe games that did the American version of it. Okay, all right. Maybe this will be okay, because I've heard okay-ish things about. Of course, that game hasn't fulfilled yet. That was done over on GameFound. All these other games didn't even know there was a Starfinder miniatures that were out, but okay. They apparently are doing that. So at least they know miniatures, and looks like a couple of the games were good. So, okay. I'll reserve judgment until I see this somewhere. Yeah. I sort of kind of want to get this, but don't know if I want to buy it. You'll find out why in a minute, why I'm probably not going to buy this, but I am going to buy something else.
Oh, there is something else.
There is something else.
Does this have something to do with Renegade Games announcing G.I. Joe Mission Critical?
It has everything to do with Renegade Games Studios announcing G.I. Joe Mission Critical. Okay, we are finally getting what the world deserves, Pinely. We all deserve this. A G.I. Joe's miniatures game. Hell yes. This is the 40th anniversary of G.I. Joe, and I'm sure if you're like me, other than not Pinely, because Pinely...
Hold on. What do you mean, 40th anniversary of G.I. Joe? You must be a certain rendition of G.I. Joe, because G.I. Joe's been around a lot longer than 40 years.
G.I. Joe cartoons.
Okay, the G.I. Joe cartoons.
Yeah, not G.I. Joe itself. No, G.I. Joe's been around for a long time.
Yes.
But if you're like me, you remember sitting in front of your TV Saturday mornings with a bowl of sugary cereal, vegging out, watching G.I. Joe. And then I also remember rushing home from school every day after I finally got cable as a kid, because it was on one of the cable stations every day as well. Like, I want to say 3:30, I think it came on. I used to watch G.I. Joe every day too. Yeah. So So this is a cooperative board game. It's going to feature 1 to 5 players. It's going to take about 50 to 70 minutes to play. Players are going to take control of their favorite Joes and face off against Cobra Commander, who, of course, is run by the game's AI. That's why you can solo this or do it cooperative, because there is an AI built into the game. There's no app or anything. I don't know if they'll have an app eventually for it. They didn't announce that. But the game's AI is built into the game. So everything is game-based. So I know a lot of people don't like app games. This is not an app game. It's totally playable without an app. But even if you want to, the game's AI always runs Cobra. You can't turn it into a 1 versus many. Well, I'm sure you could probably hack it to do that. But as it stands, the game's AI is always going to control Cobra. Okay. So it's the players against the AI. You stop Cobra in different locations around the world on the map. You're trying to defeat Cobra Commander himself, eventually to save the day. G.I. Joe Mission Critical is using the Guardian system, which is a couple other Renegade games have used the Guardian system. So if you're familiar with it, you'll pretty much know how this game is going to play. The Renegade says it's going to provide a tense, challenging, cooperative gameplay experience. They did announce that the first wave of Joes that were going to be included are going to be Duke, Snake Eyes, the Baroness, Cobra Commander, Cover Girl, Major Blood, and Stalker. The last few, of course, are your Cobras. Pre-orders are going to open up very soon, just next month, over on the Renegade Games website. Anybody who does put in a pre-order, you are going to get a retro-style blister pack Snake Eyes miniature. It's going to come in the little blister pack, which is pretty cool. He looks really good. These minis look good totally, too. You can head over to the Renegade Games website, sign up for this, but yeah, shut up and take my money. I'm ready for this.
Okay.
I'm hoping, knock on wood, I don't have to buy this and we just get it, but we'll see.
Depends on what your relationship with Renegade Studios is, I guess.
It's pretty good, actually. So we'll see, but I have the credit card in hand just in case.
Okay. Then let's head over to some lighter adventure where Ravensburger is bringing out the Wizards of Oz adventure book.
I am looking forward to this as well. Yes, follow the yellow brick road down with Dorothy and Toto, the Scarecrow, the Tin Man, and of course, the Cowardly Lion. Can you all work together to defeat the Wicked Witch of the West, find the great and powerful Wizard of Oz, and make it back to Kansas? Because after all, we know there's no place like home. Ravensburger did announce the next game in their adventure book series, The Wizard of Oz. This is going to set release in March. They didn't give a specific date, so soon, I would assume, as it is now March. This is the second title in the company's adventure book game series. The Princess Bride game was the first. This is a fully cooperative game based upon everybody's favorite classic film, inspired by the books of L. Frank Baum. You are acting as Dorothy, the Tin Woodsman, the Scarecrow, and the Cowardly Lion. You're going to work together, overcome challenges in order to advance to the next page in the story. Ergo, it's an adventure book. Along the way, you can encounter Glinda the Good Witch, confront the Wicked Witch of the West, seek help from the wizard, the powerful Wizard of Oz, and try to find your way back to Kansas. The game includes a storybook board, half a dozen sculptured miniatures representing all the characters, and of course game cards, 1 to 4 players, ages 10 and up, $29.99 was the price point on this one. I have played some of the Princess Bride game. I need to get it back out and actually finish it. It's pretty good. The way they do the system works well, and it is literally what it sounds like. The board is a book, and you just flip through the book and you go page by page, and once you finish a quote-unquote section, you move to the next page, and then there's things that you have to do. So it works well. I've enjoyed, like I said, I'm maybe a quarter of the way in of the Princess Bride one, and it works really, really well. The only complaint that I have about this, and I realize it's weird to say I have a complaint about a game I've never played, the cover art, I do not like the way Dorothy looks. Dorothy looks really, really weird to me. Glinda looks good. The Wicked Witch looks good. Tin Man, Scarecrow, and Cowardly Lion look good. Dorothy, not so much. But I'm assuming that's what she's going to look like. I don't know. We'll have to see what the minis look like. But I just not a fan of this artwork. I can't wait to see the other artwork. But it's I don't know. And I can't quite place it, what it is I don't like about her look. But I'm just like, But we'll see. I am probably going to pick this up if we don't get this. Ravensburger is really weird. Ever since the whole pandemic, they've been really weird about review of things. So I'll probably just end up buying this. But
okay.
We'll see. Either way, whenever I do pick it up, I'll do an unboxing and a review. If anybody is interested in that, let me know.
And let's then head into our week in gaming. Drac, what have you been up to?
Well, I did a little bit. I played some DDO with you. Shockingly, we played DDO again. I'll let you talk about that. Other than that, I played a lot of video games. I really only played 2 games, but I played a lot of video games. The first game I'm going to talk about is called The Outer Worlds. I probably played this for about 12 hours, maybe. So I played a lot of this game. This is, think of Fallout, but you're in space, and then throw in a little bit of BioShock, and that pretty much sums the game up.
Fallout crossed with BioShock.
Yes, that's the best way I can describe it. You're in space. Space is now ran by these mega corporations, and you can either choose to work with these corporations or against these corporations. There's all sorts. I'm loving the story of the game so far. I really don't want to spoil it, but the game's been out for a couple of years now, so it's not like I'm really going to spoil anything. But in case anybody has this and you just never got around to play it, I won't spoil the story, but it really boils down to you have to decide if you're going to help these corporations or work against them. And you have, it's open world, so you can do whatever you want. Like, if you want to just go kill anybody you see, you can actually do that. Shockingly, you can kill every NPC in the game if you would like. It's really weird in that way, but
rude, but
I mean, you can play it any way you want. It's got some RPG elements, a la the Fallout. You build up your character, and then you get skill points to invest in your character and all of that. This game, I have to say, right now, hands down, has my most favorite NPC companion of any video game I have ever played. Ever.
NPC companion.
I love this companion so much. I am invested in her story. And then it's kind of like Fallout. Each of your companions have like a quest line that you go through to help them do stuff. I love this companion so much. If you played the game, the companion I'm talking about is Parvati. I love her so much. My favorite NPC companion, hands down, in any game. I think, almost to the end of the main storyline. I put the main story mission on hold for right now. I'm working on a bunch of side quests, and there's like 5, I think 5. Yeah, there's 5 other companions, and at any time you have 2 companions with you. So right now I'm trying to finish out all of the companion quest lines. Then I'm doing all of the side quests, and then each of the factions in the game have quests as well. So I'm working through them. So right now I've kind of put the main quest line on hold. But yeah, this game is so much fun. It's available on consoles, and it's available on Steam. I'm playing the Steam version. I was gifted the Steam version a while back. So thank you to my mysterious benefactor that gifted me The Outer Worlds because she knew I would love it. And she was right. So that took up a lot of my time. The other little bit of my time that I played another video game was over on the Switch. This one actually is for review. I'm going to have a review of this coming soon. The company sent me a game key for it. It's called 35 millimeter. 35mm is the actual title of the game.
Is it named after the weapon or the film?
The weapon.
Okay.
More than the film. Well, the film kind of both, but more the weapon. It's easiest way to describe this, it's a post-apocalyptic story sort of survival game. There's some survival elements, but that's not like the full. It's more of a story-based game. There is survival elements in it. It's kind of funny that I started playing this before the. Let me preface this by saying we don't get political on the show at all, but everybody knows what's going on with Russia and Ukraine right now. This game is actually based in Russia after a global pandemic basically wipes out civilization. So it's kind of weird to be playing this now with what's going on with Russia and the Ukraine, but because there's kind of hints at some of this wasn't really due to this global pandemic and endemic. It was kind of nuclear involved too. Like I said, I'll just leave it at that. We don't get political on the show, but it's just weird. It was kind of happenstance that I started playing this before this whole thing started with Russia and everything. But yeah, this is based in Russia. So you're traveling around all these deserted towns and cities in Russia. You're going through fields and forests. You're scavenging. You have different little obstacles you have to overcome. There's quests that you do. You have to solve. Not really puzzles per se, but there's just different quests that you do, and that opens up more things that you can do, and it moves the plot of the game forward. You find different items. So, like I said, it's a story-driven, post-apocalyptic, light survival game. I'll kind of word it that way, I guess. This is also available on consoles and I think PC as well. But they sent me the Switch key, so I'm playing on the Switch. I'm enjoying it so far. Like I said, it's just kind of weird that this kind of happened with everything else that's happening, and it's like Russia, and it's just kind of eerie sometimes. It's like, ooh, this is like a view of the future, maybe. It's weird, but it's fun so far. But yeah, look for a review coming pretty soon. I think maybe after I played a couple more hours, I'll have enough grasp on it to where I can do a semi-coherent review of 35mm.
And I guess I'll go over to my week in gaming, where in DDO, Drac and I ran The Final Enemy.
But was it really the final enemy?
Well, it was the final enemy for that particular trilogy.
I mean, sure. Okay.
So, yes. I mean, unless you want to consider Thousand Teeth to be the...
Screw Thousand Teeth.
Yes.
Screw that crocodile.
Oh, well, we did also go to a shipwreck and try to find some stolen wine that turned out to be weapons.
Yeah, see, we should have took those weapons into stupid crocodile and killed the damn crocodile with stolen weapons, is what we should have done. Mental note, take weapons like machine guns or atomic bombs or something to kill that stupid crocodile, because screw that thing. I digress.
Yes. And then also I created a new cleric, and the idea was that I wanted to see if I could find the right type of character to play for the challenge, because you remember I had a challenge that I said at the beginning of the year that when we have the next season of the hardcore server, that I will see if I can get up to level 10.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought I'd create a cleric to see how well I could do on that cleric and how well I could survive on that. And I decided to see how far I can get without any hirelings.
Okay, so that was going to be my question for your little hardcore thing you're doing here. Is that when we do hardcore together, are you going to do this solo and see if you can get to 10 solo?
Well, I figure I'm going to hedge my, because the challenge was I said at the beginning of the year that I will have a challenge to get to level 10 in hardcore. Now I figure, all right, hedge my bets. Try one solo and try a character for with you, and that way,
because we plan on doing hardcore,
right? So I figure if we could do both, so I'd say give myself 2 attempts at that matter. And
okay.
So that's sort of the rationale for that matter. And I wanted to see how well I could do solo in there. And some dungeons, it seems like that when you solo them, it scales down so that it's not all that painful. So there are a couple of times in the haunted house, though, because I had no trouble in Keep of the Borderlands. Because there are a couple of rooms in the haunted house where I think I wound up running into a CR, I think there was a CR7 plus 2 5s in the room. And I'm saying, wait a minute, I'm running this solo as a level 3 character, and I'm getting that highest CR on there. And I'm a cleric here. So, of course, I got turned undead and stuff like that. And you figure that I was just ripped to pieces. And I just wondered, wait a minute, what is the scaling? Maybe I don't understand how scaling works for a number of characters or something like that. Because, okay, I'm going in solo. I did have a hireling with me or anything like that. I figure I'm a cleric. I should be able to heal myself. But
Well, one would hope.
yeah, I would hope, and I was just ripped apart by those undead because they're the undead that come in when I unlock that chest, and in order to whatever you do on that step at the in there, and sometimes I do it. It looks like I get wimpy enemies, and sometimes I feel like I get these massive, horrific undead that rip you to pieces. It seems like is it a die roll that determines what happens in there, or what? I don't know, but this
See,
particular
my
case,
my
it was
my
horrible.
RNG is rubbing off on you. I
Yeah,
apologize
maybe
for
that's
that.
always a possibility. So anyway, if that happened to me on a hardcore server, then it would be the end of that particular one right at level 3. So I'm not sure exactly what the issue is. Is it that maybe I don't understand the scaling of how it does, because I was the impression that it scales based on the number of characters that are in the dungeon. Am I completely off based on that?
It should, yes, that is part of it. It everything should scale due to
Yeah,
that,
but
yes.
I don't
And
think that.
especially if you're truly solo, it should say you are only one person.
Right. Yeah, I was the only one in there. I didn't even have a hireling.
Okay, yeah, I would think well, I'm assuming you were on normal.
Yeah, of course I'm on normal.
Well, I was gonna say, whether do I have to ask you if you were on anything but normal? I mean, come on. Yeah, it should scale and take that into
Yeah.
account.
And there were even undead ads for when I fought the assassin. And that assassin's pretty tough as it is. So
Yeah,
I
I'm
was
not
really
sure.
surprised that he had 2 undead ads with him also. See, I don't remember him having undead ads. So I don't know what was going on in there, because I felt like I was given a four player version of it or something like that, because
Yeah, unless
ads with the assassin. Because do you remember ads being with the assassin?
no, I don't remember there being ads in that one.
Yeah, but yes, because
I don't know.
tough.
I'll try to do it solo once and see what happens, just to see what I get.
Yeah. So next, after that, I also played in other games, ESO. I finished Cadwell Silver.
Oh, congratulations!
Right, which means I've finished all the main quests that are in the Almeri Dominion areas. Then I went up into the northeast area, up into Skyrim and Morrowind, and started on Cadwell's Gold. And I've got one of the areas done, and I'm getting ready to finish the second of the areas. So we're making progress. And finally, I started playing a little bit more Charterstone to continue the campaign that I was running there. I think the intention was for me to run 1 or 2 games, and I sort of binged and finished out the campaign.
Oh, Jesus. Good Lord, dude.
Yeah.
And that was you were doing that video, or were you doing that tabletop?
I was doing that. That was the tabletop version of it.
Okay. All right.
So that was the 7th campaign I finished. I've done 2 tabletop and 5 video.
You are insane.
Campaigns. Yes.
You are just insane, sir.
And that's it for my week in gaming. We currently have 15 supporters on Patreon. If you'd like to help support DDO players, you can go to the Nature's page. We can support the Players Alliance on Patreon. Your money will be used for podcast hosting, website hosting, and to pay for our live shows. If you would like to donate without using Patreon, you could contact Drac at ddrac@ddoplayers.com. No comments this week, no emails this week, but if you'd like to send us an email, you can send it to podcast@ddoplayers.com. You also have to follow us at Twitter, Players Alliance at Players Ally, DDO Players at DDO Players, Draculetta at Dracula_72, and Piney Pet Piney Needles. The Players Alliance has 2 shows. On Saturday at 8:30 p.m. US Eastern Time, we have Local Players News, and we record DDO Players News when Drac is available. You could get yours for our shows at ddoplayers.com/live. And that's all for tonight, and this is Piney Needles reminding you to quest responsibly.